Good morning, friends. It's 10 o'clock. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is 10. Today we're going to be talking about in this video a link up that happened to have a bunch of roaches crawling around. I was going to say grab you a snack, but you probably want to grab a roach spray. I was going to put one in the video, but I don't want y'all to think I have roaches, so we ain't going to do that. But yeah, let's get to this video. So when I was younger, teenage years, like all these story times go back to my teenage years, 17, 18, 19, 20, you know. So I was with, it was like a bunch of us, like I said, that used to hang out together. And I was with a guy, his name was Florida. I'm gonna do a story time on him. That was like my first love, so I'm gonna do a story time on him, but yeah, let's move on. So he wasn't around. He had moved away to Florida, which is how he got this name, Florida. And so my friends were all having a link up. Like all of them wanted to hang out together, you know, like everybody's paired up with somebody because that's how our group of friends was. Everybody was paired with somebody. And so one of my friends, she was like, oh, let's hang out. All of us is going to be together and blah, blah. So I was like, nah, I'm good. Because if my man is not there, what the hell am I doing over there? That don't make sense to me. So she was like, no, you could come because there's other people that's going to be there that has nobody there. So I'm like, I'm still not interested to come. I don't want to come. But somehow she kept convincing me like, come, I want you to be there. I want you to, like, we're all going to hang out. It's not going to be like nothing like that. Like, we're not going to be paired up, you know? And I'm like, this girl's lying to me. But I was just like I said back then, I was that friend that if you called me up and we wanted to go somewhere, I was down to go anywhere. As long as it was not nothing illegal and we're not doing nothing to get in trouble, I was like, all right, let's go. So I went and yeah, so we was at this apartment. I don't know whose apartment it was. I couldn't tell you to this day. So I think she probably was staying there. I don't know. But she invited all of us to come there because whoever apartment was, they weren't there. So as we were all hanging out, I started to realize she was BSing me because everybody was paired up with somebody and I was the only one that was not paired up. The person that she said, or the other ones that she said, oh, they're not going to be paired up. No, but you know, they're still going to be hanging with us. They did not show up. Just like I kept saying, I did not want to go and I ended up going. Yeah. So I ended up being there and I'm not paired with nobody. So there's like, I think it was like 2 beds. I don't remember. It was like years ago, but I think it was like 2 bed or something like that in the room. And the 2 beds were filled with people. I don't know why they thought that was normal or cool that all of them was hanging out together and somehow paired up and they're on the beds. I found it to be weird because I like privacy. I don't want nobody in my business. I don't want nobody to see me do nothing, but maybe I was just different. I don't know. So I was sitting at the edge of the bed and everybody else was on the bed and I'm like, this is weird. Like, what is happening? Why am I here? And I was just like, you know what? I started being on my phone. I'm trying to figure out how to text my man and see what he's got going on because he's not here. Why am I here? This is not my type of party. This is not me at all. So yeah, they're doing their thing and I'm just sitting there like, this is freaking weird. Like, this is happening. This is really happening. You know, they did not care that I was there. And then I guess some of them started to wonder, like, why are you here if you're not with somebody? You know, and I'm just like, I can't believe this is happening. So while all of that is going on, this was an apartment that was filled with roaches, like lots and lots of roaches, not even 1 or 2 or big. You know, sometimes you see some big flying ass roaches. It was not that. It was a bunch of small roaches crawling all over the place. And so in my mind, I'm like, I think it was like maybe fall or something like that. And, you know, you got to take your jacket off. And in my mind, I'm like, I am not taking my shoes off. I'm not taking my jacket off. I see too much roaches crawling around. I'm not bringing that back to my house. And I don't want that crawling on me either. So I was just like, all these people are weird. Like, ain't no way I would be turned on if I see a roach in this room. The only thought would be in my mind was, where is it going? And I hope it ain't crawling on me. So they continued on with their little whatever you want to call it, that they had going on. And at that point, I was just like, this all is weird. And all these roaches, how y'all turned on? So I started to be like, you know what? I sat there for a while because at first I was just like, is this really my friend? Like, why would she make me come here knowing that they're doing all this craziness? And as time went on, I'm just like, I'm watching the TV while all of them is like in the back of me doing whatever they're doing. And I'm there like, so I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go in the hallway and sit down since y'all all want to be doing your little thing. And I ain't got nobody to be doing anything with. Let me go sit in the hallway. And so I got myself up. And as I was sitting outside in the hallway, all I kept thinking was, these MFs are brave. Like, I guess the cat would make a man do anything. They will do anything for that cat. They did not care if roaches was there. They did not care, like, if that crawled on them. Me, there's nothing that could have turned me on in that room. I was just like, even if my man was there, I would have never been. I'd have been like, listen, let's go somewhere else. Let's go get a room. Like seeing a roach on the wall would make me not sleep. Are you crazy? But that was their thing. They enjoyed it. I mean, we're young, teenage years. I guess you do whatever makes you happy in the moment. So that was that for them. Not me. Could have never been. Even if he was there, it would have never been going down like that. No, sir. And it was too much people in the room, so it would have definitely not be nothing going on in that situation. I do not play those type of games. I don't care how much I like you. Hell to the no. But like I said, they were young and having fun and living their life, their best life. They have so much experience. I, on the other hand, I wasn't down for whatever. I was never down for whatever. I was down for hanging out with my friends. But in that situation, I was never down for that. So I guess it made a good story time now, right? Yeah, so I took myself and went to sit in the hallway and made sure there was no roaches on me because y'all don't. If you know me in real life, I don't know who's watching this video. Y'all don't know me. But the ones that do know me, like, I'm scared of bugs. I don't play that type of game with nobody. So I was just like, I can't do this. I gotta go. So I was sitting in the hallway for a long time and I started to think, remember, Ubers was not bad. Uber was not a thing. It's like you had to call a cab, taxi, all that. Where she was at, it was kind of like far a little bit from where I live. And at that time, I really didn't have money like that to be like, let me call a cab and take my ass home. I don't know why I didn't call somebody to tell them, send me a cab or something. I just decided to just sit in the hallway and wait for them to finish whatever they got going on. And then, because they all drove, and that's how I got there, was because one of them drove me there. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna have to wait for somebody to take me home. I had no cab money. I didn't know who to call to get me a cab to come get me. And at the time, yeah, Florida was in Florida. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this girl taught me into this. Like, what kind of friend is she? Like, and why did I even make her convince me to do something stupid like that? And yeah, so the next day came now, and her boyfriend, like I said, we were all in a group, and I think we were all hanging out again somewhere else. I think it's somebody else's house. And everybody was joking around and stuff. And then her boyfriend started to joke around how he was laying in the bed and he thought she was touching him. And he's just like, oh, I felt good. And he thought she was touching him. But then he's like, oh, wait, no. If her hands is up here, what is what is touching me down there? And so we was all like cracking up. And he was like, yo, when he checked, it was a roach crawling. You cannot, I'm not making this up. This is real life. This actually really happened a long time ago. And he was like, oh, there was a roach crawling on him. I'm like, a roach crawling on you? And you did what? Like, just... yeah. But yeah. On a serious note. On a serious note, yeah. That was like a roach-infested hookup, link up, whatever you want to call it. But, I mean, you could look back at it and laugh, right? I guess these things happen so you can always remember and look back. But like I said, we was all cool. It was fun times. I didn't have fun that night. I was the 10th wheel or something like that. Because like I said, everybody was peered out. My man was in Florida. I was texting Florida, but who knows? He probably was with another bitch in a different, because it's long distance anyway. I don't know what he was doing. He was still texting back, but who the hell knows? So yeah. And that was there was no fun for me, but I was sitting there just like, but I thought I would tell a story because I don't know, I'm bored. I hope you guys just enjoyed this story. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Let's be friends. You're already here. Why not? I got plenty more stories to tell you guys. And make my day. Click that subscribe button. I appreciate y'all for watching. Come back for the next one.